Oh, I'm getting fatter. I've been trying to practice whenever I can afford it or whenever it's convenient to try to eat healthier. Excuse me. But last night, excuse me. Last night I did a video and I'm so mad because for some reason no matter what internet connection I used, it just would not upload at all. So I was forced to delete it and then have to do it all over again. So I was able to get 4 hours of sleep last night. It played that game again with me, you know, the clouds singling me out and hovering over me and nowhere else in the sky. The drone in the sky, and I mean I can't believe this is just so weird. Some people, there was somebody who described it as weaponized weather warfare. And so whenever it coincided with me having to pee, when I tried to doze off, and next thing you know, the rain waits till I start to doze off and fall asleep, and then start. It's like big fat raindrops falling on me, and then I pack my stuff and get up, and then go to the potty spot, and by the time I'm done pottying, that's when the rain stops, or it might stay showering for like another 20 minutes. And so then it didn't thunder last night. So I went to go back to that spot. Y'all gonna call me crazy and stupid, but I went back to that spot and I said, look, the stupid weather is not gonna control me. I'm getting my doggone sleep tonight. So you know, it started to rain some more. Again, it tried that again, and I'm like, just fuck it. I'm not moving. I'm not leaving. And so then, after a while, the rain left me alone. So yeah, the night before, I never in my life saw anything where it was just lightning and it just lightning all night long for hours. You know, and then hardly any rain except the rain that revolved around me. Uh, that wanted to fall on me when I try to doze off. And then I think it was after 4:30 this morning. That was when they vibrated my body, but I was able to go back to sleep, and then woke up like just before 6 o'clock. Um, so the video that I was trying to talk about is a professed targeted individual told me no one can hurt you without your permission. When I was talking about how my family members seem like they have symptoms of targeting, yet they hurt me very heavily. And the gay brother Mark acts like he delusionally believes he's my handler, him and my twin sister. But Mark, he fusses and curses with the air. And he was the first person I ever in my life saw that happen with in 2011. And then shortly after that, I saw a few other homeless people. Well, he wasn't homeless, but I saw a few homeless people fussing and cursing with the air, or even in Texas and Los Angeles, seeing homeless people who have conversations about the government in the 1960s, whatever other weirdness. They're not on Bluetooth. I don't even think people use Bluetooth anymore. I don't see people using Bluetooth anymore. But this was back in 2011. I know. I mean, they didn't have it. They didn't. They didn't have it any Bluetooth, and it's like as if they were talking to nothing. So the gay brother Mark was the first person I ever saw fussing and cursing with the air. Yet he tried to bully, harass, and lecture me about being negative and having bad behavior or anything like that. So it's like, how can I have I mean, how can he say all those things about me when, or I'm crazy or whatever, when he got mental problems too? You know, I don't have the V2K, and I don't, you know, so I mean, but I highly suspect. I think I have the remote neural monitoring, because some people say the forced speech and stuff like that is remote neural monitoring. But I don't know. It might be V2K, but I don't hear voices or anything. But you know, he was the first person I saw going through that. But he perked me very heavily, and is very highly narcissistic and abusive, just like the rest of the family. You know, a lot of the other family members, they stay away from me. But I haven't contacted the family since, 2018. But my brother Wyatt had he was the last family member to talk to in last year. No, yeah, on my me and my twin sister's birthday, and me and my twin sister had that big argument the day before our birthday. And Wyatt was the last family member I ever heard from last year. But in 2018, I haven't dealt with the family since October 2018. But Raymond, my nephew Raymond, was the last family member I saw physically in person, like right before Christmas 2018. And he acted like he was begging me to come back around the family and try to get me to forgive everybody. I'm like, why? So I can continue being abused again? You know? So I don't even know if he was trying to trick me or whatever, but he don't care about me. He treat me with the same abuse as everybody else. 5 years younger than me, and try to treat me like I'm slow with no sense or not allowed to make my own decisions. So I broke away from the family abuse and family hurt. But when I tweeted, about how I don't get how, because my own twin sister, sometimes she has like a constant series of bad luck, but I wonder if she's targeted too. I never told her because my Illuminati talk, they already call me crazy even before my Illuminati talk because of the fake foster mom and so it's like when that girl said nobody can hurt you without your permission. She said she hears V2K and talks about the abuses she go through with the gang stalk. Well, not so much gang stalking, but the perps telling her stuff in her head with the V2K and stuff. Like, so they're constantly hurting her. I mean, it really gets to me when people try to say that they allow themselves to be abused or they give permission to be abused. And so on Facebook forums, it's like the narcissistic abuse communities are more brutal than the targeted individual community than the perps. They're more brutal than the perps trolling the they're more brutal than the perps trolling the the fake TI perps trolling the targeted individual communities on Facebook. So the narcissistic abuse, they have a lot of females who are narcissistic abusers who pretend to fake like they're victims, and then their words is just so harsh and cutthroat and brutal that I can't even post up in there. Like, how can you say that you were a victim of abuse, but then you agree with some fake narcissist coach that says that, I mean, you agree with the coach telling you that you allow yourself to be abused. Because I heard that, watch out. There was a YouTube video, I can't find it, that somebody said, watch out for narcissistic abuse coaches, because a lot of them, or narcissistic abuse experts, because a lot of them are fake fake victims who are actually narcissists themselves. So it really bothered me, that comment with that girl told me on Twitter, It's like she told me that as a reply, and then a single outside regular tweet, like she repeated herself. And it's like all these abusive comments that make you feel re-victimized is supposed to be like hurt disguised or masquerading as help. Like people saying nobody can hurt you without your permission, or you allow yourself to be hurt. They think that's supposed to be motivation. Um, they think it's supposed to be motivation, but it actually hurts you more and make you feel more ashamed. And it's like I said, well, how come it's always the victims of abuse is always called the fools and never the perpetrators? You know, the perpetrators are glorified as wise with great sense and brilliant for their wicked deeds, you know, and just freaking rewarded and praised. So, I can't. I don't think I can go inside the narcissistic abuse forums in Facebook anymore. They're more brutal than the fake Ti perps being abusive. Um, I don't know. I just feel so crushed, even worse. Um, I don't even know if that girl, if somebody must have told her that, and she just repeated it, saying like people say nobody, like narcissistic abusers being like, well, you only can make yourself feel hurt. Nobody can hurt your feelings without your consent and stuff like that, or 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 you know you choose to feel hurt, and in my opinion, my words should have no effect on you. Well, the Bible says words do hurt, and sticks and stones do break people's bones, and words do hurt. And people talking about how years of mental scars take longer to heal than physical scars. Um, so I mean, there's stuff people have done to me and said to me in my past years ago, and even as far back as elementary school, that still, I mean, I don't think about it constantly, but if it comes across my mind, I'll still have like a PTSD moment, or it'll still hurt. Um, and I get PTSD flashbacks, but psychiatrists and doctors, they want to diagnose me what they want me to be diagnosed with on purpose, because I mean they would rather falsely label me schizophrenic, excuse me, and crazy, but they refuse to diagnose me with the complex PTSD that I know I suffer, because me being diagnosed with PTSD exposes them, you know. So yeah, I felt like I couldn't go to sleep last night without me being able to express and get it off my chest about me being upset at that comment. I didn't block her, um, but I don't know. I'm just very bothered that she said that, and I'm just tired of abusive people being rewarded and having a pat on their back for the abuse, and then people make it like it's a crime to be a victim. It's a crime to be a victim, and people say you can you there's no such thing as being a victim unless you allow it. Like one time, this lady who calls herself a diehard Aaliyah fan tried to tell me, like when after it was in 2010, around that time I was very suicidal. And then she tried to say you're only a victim. That wasn't supportive. That wasn't words of support or encouragement. It's another way to just kick me down even harder, trying to say you're only a victim if you act like one. So people criminalize the victim for being quote unquote weak, and then say that you deserve to continue to be hurt and that you allow it. But at the same time, with this targeting, we get being re-abused over and over again several times a day, and that's why they call it trauma-based mind control. So there's a couple of females who told me that you have to be a victor rather than a constant victim. I remember last year when the voc rehab when I went to the voc rehab and they had that fake perp psychologist. But before then, they had this lady. Her mind was made up about me, and it was her last day before retirement, and she brainwashed my voc rehab counselor to think a certain way about me. And neither one of them knew me. They both were strangers. But I didn't even mention targeting individuals or gang stalking. But I mentioned about the workplace mobbing. I didn't use those words, but I described what I was going through. And then the lady tried to talk about red flags of a constant victim. So then they put it, brainwash the psychologist with false stuff and lies about me, and lied and said that I'm schizophrenic and schizoaffective. I mean, as complete strangers, y'all don't even know me, but within listening to me for less than 5 minutes, you say I'm schizophrenic and schizoaffective with a personality disorder, and then these doctors, I mean, fake mental health people, they put obesity as a mental illness, as part of, like, I think it's Axis 5 or something on a DSM-4 or something. Now there's DSM-5, but they consider obesity as a mental illness. And they also call homelessness a mental illness as one of the axes on the mental illness diagnosis. It's very freaking dangerous. Next thing you know, they're probably gonna put being black as a mental illness too. Oh shucks, they did that in slavery days. Yeah, being a certain skin color. But they normalize homosexuality, pedophilia, zoophilia, blood drinking, shit eating, and they starting to encourage and force that, you know, the so-called new normal. I kind of strayed off topic, but yeah, that lady's talking about red flags of me being a constant victim, and I did a video on that on my other channel before it got deleted. Um, and try to read the psychologist's fake false diagnosis and psychosocial on me. So I'm gonna go now, and bye.